This is Mike Franklin, the property tax guy and assessor audit on YouTube. And today we're going to review the city intern attorney, Travis McDaniels. He gets up in front of the Board of Assessment Review after my hearing, apparently to combat a allegation I made against the city. The city didn't get the tentative roll into the ImageMate online until the 10th of January, when their tentative roll came out January 1st. So what he's going to suggest is, I'll play his little speech. He's going to say that the tentative roll was available for anybody to come into the office on January 1st if they wanted to know what their assessment was. So he's asking the deputy assessor a bunch of leading questions, to get the answers that he wants, and then in the end, he asked the assessor, and the assessor indicated that if you came in on January 1st, they could tell you their assessment. Well, that's not the same thing as the tentative roll. The tentative roll is all the assessments, not just one. And so then after the assessor says that, then Trevor McDaniel, proclaims that the tentative roll was available on January 1st, and when that wasn't established whatsoever. But that was his agenda. But the bottom line is that you have to get your petitions in by January 31st. So the city delayed getting their information on the ImageMate so that people can figure out what's going on, and it only gives them 3 weeks to get their petition in, which is ridiculous. And also, I checked every day starting January 1st to see when that ImageMate data would be online, and it was finally online the 10th. And as of the 10th, the tentative roll was not on the website of the City of Syracuse Assessors webpage. And so I don't know exactly when that finally did get online, but in any case, it was no earlier than the 10th. And I find that to be pretty darned inappropriate. They just don't want to give people enough time to have an appeal of the arbitrary nonsense they put up as assessments. Their tentative or their equalization rate is 62.5%, which is completely unacceptable. They haven't done a reval in 25 years. They've been paid to do a job, and they're not doing that job. So let's hear what Trevor has to say, and you can get a feel for his disingenuous attitude. So listen to this; it'll crack you up.
Hi, Joe. Thank you. Also, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Joe, what's the taxable status date for the city of Syracuse? January 1st. What are the city's requirements on the taxable status date as pertains to the tentative assessment roll? So on January 1st, what are the city's obligations for the tentative assessment roll?
Well, due to the fact that our valuation date and our taxable status date are the same day, it usually takes us a few days to prepare the roll, and then we publish it in as fast as we can. Usually it's the 4th or the 5th. I'd have to go look and see what day it was actually made available.
So the tentative assessment roll was publicly available for inspection before January 10th.
I'd have to go look and see when it was actually online and available.
I'm not necessarily thinking about online and available, but if I walked into the Department of Assessment.
Oh, if you called in January 1st and asked us what the assessment was, we would have disclosed it.
I could tell you. Okay, yeah. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that the tentative assessment roll was publicly available for public inspection on January 1st. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what he wanted to clarify, that the tentative roll was available for inspection on January 1st, but that's not what the assessor said. And so what they're suggesting is that, yeah, you could get the assessment data on January 1st, if you drive down to City Hall. There's a lot of people would have difficulty doing that, getting parking, and some people have mobility issues. There's a lot of elderly people. and he thinks that it's acceptable that that you get it by going down to City Hall, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is 2024, and we have something called the internet, and to me, it's just unacceptable. But just Trevor McDaniel's disingenuous nature, is just indicative of what goes on at the city of Syracuse. It's childlike, it's disingenuous, it's just utter nonsense. The tentative roll, the taxable status date is January 1st. They need to have the data posted online January 1st, not January 10th, January 1st, period. This is Mike Franklin, the property tax guy.